you deserve to be with someone who values your time and wants to be with you. And if that person doesn't, then that person just may not be right for you.
Sometimes we don't want to give up on someone, but we don't realize that we're sacrificing our own self.
Right.
So why is that fair for you to give up on yourself? What's up, Flourishing fam? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Delores, and this is my husband, Charles, and welcome to Flourish with Delores. I thought he was going to do it with me.
Wait a minute. I got it. All right.
Welcome to Flourishing with Delores, where I give you tips to embrace your journey and remember that flourishing is about progress and not perfection, honey.
Hey.
In today's video, we are going to be doing an Ask the Farmers. So I got a DM from a man, which was really excited to have a guy want my perspective. So we are going to be answering his question today. So it kind of came in pieces, so I'm going to try to do my best to read it to you. But I'm not going to tell you everything I told him until we're done, just so we can get your perspective.
Okay.
So he DM'd me, "Hello there. Could I get a little relationship advice?" And also, as I'm reading this, feel free to comment below the advice that you would give the person who wrote this DM to me. So again, hello there. Could I get a little relationship advice? And of course I'm like, sure, what's going on? That's me, you know? And then he said, I have an ex who is indecisive about me. Should I move on? And me, I wrote like this long paragraph of like asking him more questions because I feel like you can't really give advice just not really knowing the full scope. So I asked him more questions and he said, here's the bottom line. She said she isn't ready to be in a relationship. Hence, she doesn't want anyone. But she's indecisive. She doesn't know if she wants me, but we've been dating since January. But we have been on and off a couple times, as in we broke up before this already. So the last broke up was in July. I'm reading what the man said.
Oh, so you just didn't know a little grammar. Okay, no problem.
That is not nice. That is not our mission to shame anybody's writing. So the last broke up was in July, and from then, we've been back and forth. Each time we broke up, it's kind of the same thing. The first time, she said she lost feelings. The second time, same thing. So she's saying her headspace isn't accommodating a relationship. So then I responded a little bit more, and then he said, honestly, I don't want to give up on her. I said I'd move on, but I just can't. I want to give her space to clear her head, yes. She said I'm the best thing out of the relationship. We talked it over and decided to take it slow. In the meantime, work on our personal stuff. So at this point, the other things he said to me was based off of my responses, and he was like texting her and finding out more stuff. So I'm going to just kind of end it right here and start our Ask the Farmers. And by the way, if you have a question, we promise we won't shame you and we'll keep you anonymous. DM me or email me at hello@flourishwithdelores, or DM me by following me on Instagram at Flourish with Delores. So do not be afraid to do that. We will keep you anonymous and respect whatever's going on. So with that being said, what do you think? What would you say to him with this situation?
Okay, so that was a lot. Why don't we just start right from the beginning, right? So what I'm hearing...
Please don't be mean.
I'm not going to be mean. I'm going to tell you the truth, though.
That's right. We'll do it with love.
Right, so let's start from the beginning, right? So what I'm hearing is I'm hearing multiple instances of where it didn't seem to work out, and it seems like a couple of times. Now, what did he say exactly? That she had said like it wasn't working out for some odd reason, or
that she just doesn't have the headspace right now for a relationship. Okay. So they broke up a couple times. Okay. But she's been indecisive. She's been like, okay, I guess I kind of want to be with you, but then overall she's just like, I don't want a relationship.
So I think this is a good point to ask yourself. Number one, you know, I think as you write this out, you kind of ask yourself, wait a minute, am I seeing kind of a pattern here? Mm-hmm. That I keep getting with this person and it doesn't go anywhere, and then I keep getting this person again and then it doesn't go anywhere? I think you have to kind of take a step back and ask yourself, like, what your worth is. Like, are you...
Sorry, I feel like you have to repeat that. Ask yourself, what is your worth? That's a good one. Right.
So, like, ask yourself, like, are you worth it to someone to go through this back and forth and back and forth? Like, I'm going to say no. Like, you deserve to be with someone who values your time and wants to be with you. And if that person doesn't, then that person just may not be right for you, or just may not be that particular season.
Right.
So I think, you know, if I was to meet this person, give this person advice, I would say, hey, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with just being friends, but clearly, like you said, this person is not in the right space for a relationship, and maybe you guys just aren't meant to be together. I don't know, but it seems like if you guys have been cool with each other, I think it's fine to be maintaining friendship. But I would say, if a relationship is something important to you, then I'd say date around and try to keep your options open. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, but don't continue to waste time with someone that just does not have the capacity to commit to being in a relationship right now. You're just wasting your time.
Right. I totally agree with you. I said the same thing, like when you said the know your worth. What I told him was, this isn't fair to you, the indecisive, with like having your emotions being pulled. Like, I want to be with you, but then I don't want to be with you. So what I told him it was that it's not fair to him. So he has to look out for himself first. Although he does love her and want to be with her and doesn't want to give up on her, I told him he needs to not give up on himself and put himself first. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we don't want to give up on someone, but we don't realize that we're sacrificing our own self.
Right.
So why is that fair for you to give up on yourself? The other thing is, sometimes people are literally telling you what they want. And she said she does not want a relationship. She is not in the headspace.
I remember that too.
Literally people tell you, and then we're like, I just need a sign. Does he want to be with me, or does she want to be with me?
She just gave you one.
Yeah. And so many times, I hear stories of people saying, like, people are literally telling them, but because we don't receive it, because we didn't want to hear that answer, we trap them into this back and forth where they feel like, okay, well, I guess I got to be with you, or I do kind of want to be with you. And then they try to make it work, but then they realize they just don't, or they're not ready and they're not in the headspace. And I commend her for being able to tell someone she's not in the headspace to be in a relationship. I don't know her or what her story is, if she is playing games, if she's not, if she's serious or not, but just the fact that she was able to say that and express that, because I know sometimes with dating, people just feel that way, but then they just go ghost. And they don't tell you that they're just not in that headspace. They just will stop texting. And that's probably like a whole nother episode, this whole ghosting situation. But yes.
You be doing that?
Yes.
That's a shame.
It happened to me. I got ghosted right before I started dating you. So we'll talk about that another time. But speaking of that, so I feel like people will either tell you or their actions will say it. So if someone ghosted you, which I don't like I'd rather you just say it, that's still an action that's showing them what they want. So, you have the sign right in front of you, but I think sometimes we want to hold on to so bad for it to work, when you holding on to the thought or the idea, the hope that it may work, may be blocking the true love of your life, the person you do deserve, to come your way. Then we also talked about him taking the time to work on himself. So, if you're not in this relationship, that's okay, but maybe there were aspects of the relationship that was toxic that maybe you can work on within, so that when you are ready for your next relationship, you're ready and you feel whole on your own. So your whole of someone is going to join someone else's whole of someone, and you're not looking to be filled, if that makes sense, from the relationship. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
No, I agree.
I'm passionate about it. So
I could tell. No, I mean, I agree. I think that sometimes some people just don't know how to be alone and be by themselves and focus on helping themselves grow. Like, I think some people move on from one relationship to next, and they'll be like, oh, I'm just going to take time for myself. Then a week later, they'll be with the next person. I'm like, no, you didn't take time for yourself at all. Do stuff that you enjoy. Spend time thinking about what your goals are, what you want in a relationship, what you want in life in general. But I think sometimes people just don't know how to be by themselves. But
it's hard because as humans, we want companionship. Right. So of course, we're not saying you shouldn't want to be in a relationship. No. I love being in a relationship, but I think sometimes people are serial daters to the point where they don't really know who they are or what they want. So I think that's what you're trying to say, is take the time to get to know and be comfortable with just being your whole you without having to be defined by someone else.
Right, and I think if you're moving on through another serious relationship, I think you need to take a step back and also realize what worked and what didn't work, so that you don't repeat the same thing. Because what do they say? The definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Right. So, I've seen people do that all the time. So, if you're going to be taking time for yourself, think about how things went. Think about things that, maybe you observe that you don't want in the next one. Things that maybe you made mistakes that you don't want to repeat. And then see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I do want to comment on the ghosting thing since you bring that up. I don't personally understand the concept of ghosting and why people do it, to be honest. So I'm like, so you mean you tell me, you sit there, you call somebody and try to build up some relationship and then you just stop talking to them? I don't understand that. I just feel like if you genuinely don't want to see that person, be man, be woman enough to just come in and say, hey, you know what? I had really good time. I don't want to continue the relationship any further. Maybe we still stay friends. Maybe we don't. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm like, come on. You at least owe it to them, especially if they've been like cool with you. They haven't been like a jerk or anything like that. Like, I don't know. I don't understand.
Even if they have been a jerk, they should know, like, yo, I don't want to be with you because you keep talking about my mama. And at least they know why you don't want to be with them instead of just ghosting. Right. But I mean, it is unfortunate. And comment below, Charles wants to know, like, what's up with these ghosters? What's going on?
I mean,
comment below if you've had a ghosting situation, or DM me your ghosting situation and we will talk through it, what we would do, what we would have done differently, maybe why the ghosting may have happened. So please send us your ghosting situation and we'll do another episode on it. And I'll share a couple of times that I've been ghosted myself. What were you going to ask?
I don't know. I've never been ghosted before.
Oh, God. That's so nice. Yes, you have.
I did.
Didn't your first girlfriend just stop?
Yeah. But I guess because I didn't know that's what you called it. I didn't know.
Yes.
I mean, the only ghost I know was like from Power.
My God. We will share. I'll share my ghosting story. And if you share your ghosting story, if you share your ghosting story either in the comments or DM me your situation, we will do an episode on ghosting. Well, thank you so much for watching. We do have a Facebook community called Flourishing in Love. So if you're in a serious relationship, working towards marriage, or if you're already married and you're a millennial, please join our club. A millennial is anybody who was born between 1981 and 1996. So right now you're either probably 39 or 24, I think. So if that sounds like you and you are looking for a community because you want to strengthen your relationship and also be supported with any fears you may have, please join our group. I'll put the link below. And also, if you want one-on-one coaching with whatever situation you have, please also use one of the links below to schedule a time for a clarity call, and we could talk about your relationship situation and how to either get through it or create concrete practical steps in your life to not keep repeating the same pattern. So definitely book that or join our community. All right, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Take care of yourself and give yourself grace. Peace.